Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your astrology forecast for August 3rd, Thursday. Thursday, August 3rd of 2023. I appreciate your subscription, your viewership, and let's go ahead and hop into the transits for today. Well, so the main thing that we have going on today, we do have that moon, which has moved into Pisces, and it's going to start to oppose all of this Virgo energy. It's going to oppose Mercury, it's going to oppose Mars. It's also on top of Saturn right now as we speak. And those are two energies that, occupy their homes, occupy opposite sides of the zodiac. So two sides of the same coin have come together in the sign of Pisces, which is interesting. May give the moon a little bit more influence, but Saturn's still going to kind of rule this conjunction, if you will. So let's talk about it, shall we? They're meeting up right now at 5 degrees. Like I said, Saturn is retrograde, right? And it's in the sign of Pisces. This is definitely where we can definitely feel that the sort of like structures around Piscean-like energy. So it kind of makes for a wild card kind of energy. Pisces is the culmination of every sign that came before it. So it's a super powerful, super potent, super magical, super out there, super watery, super dreamy kind of energy, right? It's a little bit of everything, right? It's this amalgamation of all these energies. And now Saturn's there, trying to actually sort things out and try to, organize things, if you will, to almost sort of compartmentalize them, trying to bring some type of order to this area. It's retrograde right now, so it's not exactly bringing order to this area right now. It's become more of like an observer and kind of just taking notes. It's like, all right, that thing got to work out. I got to work on that thing. I got to work on that thing. Once I come out of this retrograde, like I said, Saturn is on vacation. Saturn was recruited to the resort. Saturn was recruited to the resort to help out Neptune, if you will, trying to upgrade the resort, upgrade this area. But now, she ain't working right now. She's taking her break. She's getting her nails done. She's doing her massages and everything like that. Now the moon meets up too. And the moon is just coming off of this full moon in Aquarius. So the moon has some information to provide to Saturn. This moon's going to be like, okay, so, I just got done talking to the sun. I was in Aquarius, that sun was beaming me. And I'm sitting out here I'm just that's the moon's I was just trying to be distant and a little bit, just kind of out there and doing my own thing. And then I get blasted by the sun. That's pretty much what the full moon just went through. And there's this energy where it's this full moon in Aquarius was really showing us where our vibe was and where we align right now. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And being that, of course, the sun is in Leo, where it is dominant, where it rules, where it's the strongest energy right now, as far as just essential dignities, and it's in the sign that, of course, Venus will retrograde at. We got this blast of energy from the sun that the moon experienced. And now it's okay, so this is where people's hearts are. This is where people's creativity are. This is where their passion is. This is where, do they even have a roar for life? Do you actually have some gusto to what you're doing? Do you have some umph to what you're doing? Or is it just just a wet paper bag? Yeah, it's just, do you like ASMR videos? Do you like all that weird stuff? I never really got into the ASMR stuff. I don't know. I found it to just be a little unnerving, honestly. All the ASMR stuff. If I'm going to listen to something calm and chill, I'm going to listen to a stream of water, a trickling stream, or leaves rustling in the wind. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to listen to something like that, but these weird ASMR videos where people are taking the weirdest things, and they're ugh. I don't know. I just don't really like that sort of stuff. So Leo doesn't like that stuff either. Leo's yo, give me something bold. Give me something that I can actually get fired up about and passionate about. Don't give me this weird, so that's the thing about that full moon. is that it was really showing people where they align. Do they have do they still have that human spirit? Do they still care? Do they have a soul? Like, and some people might get triggered by this, but like the drones are out here in droves. They are out here in droves. Like, and that's something that you might have come to some sort of awareness of over these last few days. Hopefully you came to an awareness to see like kind of where you are in all this. And even I will say this, even if you may feel a bit drone like, you still have a human spirit. It's still there. You know, you can always switch sides and change teams because there's plenty of us here that are poking and prodding and, expressing, expressing who we are and showing you guys and telling you guys and using things like, it doesn't always have to be astrology, but it could be astrology, it could be tarot, it could be Reiki, it could be freaking telekinesis, it could be any of these sort of modalities, it could be healing through different like medicinal herbs, it could be diet. There's so many people trying to wake people up to, it's like, yo, you are super powerful, you are superhuman, you are super powerful co-creative being. Don't let these people put you into a box. Don't let these people ostracize you from your universal birthright. Now that the moon is in Pisces, we've seen where we align right now. We see where our vibe attracts our tribe. And I think there's elements, all of us are probably feeling. It's like, I don't really I like these aspects of the tribe, but I don't necessarily like these aspects of the tribe. All right, what are we going to do about it? All right. Moon's on Pisces. This is when we meet the oracle, especially with the moon coming over Saturn, right? This is like the first little test right here, right? This is like the first little test. Coming over to the moon over Saturn. The moon's going, okay, Saturn, so this is what I learned. These are the things that happened. This is how I felt about it. And Saturn's going to be like, okay, what do you want me to do about it? Like, I'm kind of on vacation here. But you're Saturn. You're the boss. You're always working. You're the goat. Like, it was like, yeah, but, even the goat needs to rest sometimes. This is that time for me to rest. So take that bitch to, like, Neptune. The moon's going to, okay. The moon's going to leave Saturn. She's going to make her way over to Neptune. Which is going to be, probably tomorrow, next, because it's at 5 degrees now, 27 degrees. So yeah, it's going to take about, it's going to take about 40 hours or so for it to get there. But it'll get there, Moon will get to Neptune, and Neptune's going to be like going backwards. So Neptune's actually awake. That's the weird thing about it. The moon's going to get two different energies. Whereas Saturn is on chill mode, Neptune is going like, all right, let's go. Let's get things done. So the moon's going to be talking to Neptune, and Neptune's not really going to be hearing it too much. Neptune is going to definitely override the moon on this one. Definitely override the moon. Where it's sort of like, if anything, it's sort of like Saturn kind of gives the moon like the kind of some of the clues and everything, right? But then, the moon gets to Neptune, and Neptune is just like building the dream actually at this point. Like, the Neptune is, instead of just, like, watching the movie and stuff like that, it's watching the movie and being a part of the movie, if you will, and narrating the movie, if you will. Like, Neptune is actually going to be, like, building and, like, directing things and stuff like that. Especially that it's home. So it's going to be rather strong, even though it's retrograde stuff. Moon's going to be trying to talk to Neptune, and Neptune's like, yo, look, I got actors over here. I got freaking, this caterer is freaking late, so I have hungry actors and stuff like that. Sally keeps fucking up her lines, right? Jeff over here is flirting with someone, and I need him to actually pay the fuck attention. I got this caterer that's been late. I got these freaking makeup artists over here that one of them freaking left their entire kit at home because they got super drunk the night before or whatever like that after coming off the set, and they forgot all their stuff. Now they have to run back home I got stuff to do. Like, that's where Neptune is right now. And the moon's gonna be like, can't even get a word in. So then the moon's going to come off of Neptune. And the moon's going to be like, okay, now what? got to remember that in between these interactions that the moon's going to have with Saturn and Neptune, that the moon will oppose Mercury. The moon will oppose Mars. It will oppose those energies today. So the moon oppose Mercury. It's going to be like, okay, the moon's going to be like, all right, so look, I just got done talking to Saturn, and she kind of blew me off a little bit. She gave me a little bit, but she kind of blew me off. She didn't do like her normal Saturn thing. Mercury, what you got for me? And this is going to be an interesting, of course, where Mercury's at home. So Mercury's just going to be like, well, this thing needs to be fixed, that needs to be fixed. You know, I gotta work on this thing and that thing, that thing, that thing, that thing. And the moon's going to be like, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. How am I supposed to feel about all the information that you're giving me? And Mercury's like, you just asked me what I was thinking and stuff like that. So I just gave it to you. But yeah, but it's a lot to like take in, you know? I gotta sort out my feelings and how I feel about this. And Mercury's like, well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you know, I'm about to retrograde too, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of slowing down. I'm trying to catch up to Mars, you know, myself, you know. I'm trying to catch up to Mars to like deliver some information and knowledge to him, because Mars is like, yeah, he's acting, but like he can have a little bit more like, you know, sometimes he's acting a little bit too rash right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can catch up to him and kind of deliver and tell him the goods about, you know, what the sun has told me, about what Venus has told me, because, you know, I conjuncted, you know, the sun, I talked to Venus, now I'm trying to catch up to Mars, to kind of give Mars some information, because Mars is out there on the front lines and stuff like that, and how we got to switch the tactics a little bit, but I'm not going to catch up. I'm just trying to catch up to Mars. So then the moon is going to continue past the move, and it will eventually oppose Mars. That'll be later on in the day, going into tomorrow. If anything, it will be more of a tomorrow aspect. When it does get to the Mars, the moon's going to, okay, so I talked to Saturn, I talked to Mercury on the phone, and now I'm talking to you on the phone. And Mars is going to be like, and Virgo's like, yo, like, I'm on my shit right now, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I got all these things to sort out. I'm trying to find what the best action to take right now is. You know, the only thing I could tell you is, you know, purposeful, consistent action. And the moon's going to be like, what is that? And Mars is like, purposeful, consistent action. That's what I can tell you right now. And then Mars going to hang up, like, abruptly. And then the moon's going to be like, fuck. Now, this happens in between, you know, the whole Saturn interaction and the whole Neptune interaction, where Mercury kind of just gives all this information to the moon, the moon has to process this energy, and it's in the sign of Pisces. So that's the other thing about this. So this can bring an element where you may find yourself sort of like, depending upon the information that's being given, that you come across, it may make you want to really escape, you know what I mean? Maybe it might be too much, or it can be like, well, you know, what can I actually do with this energy? Like, can I do something? Can I manifest with this information that I have right now? Can I access these deeper reservoirs of magic that I have? Can I access that creative energy? Can I become the Magi with this information that's being given to me? Or am I just going to like really escape? Am I going to, you know, just forget about it? But they definitely won't be able to forget about it, because like I said, the moon's going to hit up Neptune and stuff like that too. You know? The moon opposed Mars, which will be later. That's going to be a rather quick conversation. Because you see, Mercury's going to give a lot of information. You know, it's different though if, like, say, if Mercury was in Gemini. With being in Virgo, there's definitely going to be a little bit more, no offense, Gemini, there's going to be a little bit more structure to it, if you will. There's definitely going to be it's going to be a little bit more critical too, because it's not just giving the information. If Mercury is like, you know, I mean, this is what's going on over here, and I don't know about that. Like, I think it should be done this way and that way. I think that should be done that way. And, you know, and the moon's going to be like, okay, what do I do with this information? All right. Then the moon's going to conjunct Neptune later, and not today. Like I said, it's going to be, you know, probably more of a tomorrow aspect. And then that's going to happen. And Neptune's at 27 degrees. That's where they'll conjunct at. 2 plus 7 is 9, and 9 is the number of Mars. So it's like I said, it's definitely going to feel kind of crazy. You know what I mean? It's definitely going to feel kind of crazy. Because especially being that it's 9 and it's Mars energy and it's Aries energy, it's definitely going to speak to, in many ways, the spiritual war that we are in. I'm not going to fucking sugarcoat it. There's a spiritual war that we are in. And then after that, of course, the moon's going to go into Aries. And that is when we actually, in many ways, it's going to be where we are imbued with, our superpower or the warrior-like energy that we're going to need to carry over the next 18 months. Because remember, this is going to be the first time that the moon will conjunct Chiron while the North Node is in Aries, right? So the funny thing is that we're going to come across something from our past, something that's going to maybe trigger us, and then we get to the North Node. So it's this whole interesting saga that's playing out right now. And we generally when it comes to these energies, whatever like that, the moon definitely does kind of have it's more of like a B story. It's more of like our emotions. It's kind of like the side story, but because it moves so fast, it's generally the energy that people play out subconsciously, unconsciously. They generally play out that energy a lot more, right? I think today's going to be a day, like I said, we're going to get this information from Saturn. We're going to get the information from Mercury. And then going into tomorrow is going to be kind of the crazy day because, like I said, we're going to get the information from Mars, and then it's going to conjunct Neptune. By the time that moon comes into Aries, the moon, of course, is going to shift to a cardinal fire energy. So it's going to be like, okay, that's it's going to feel like somewhat of a renewal, if you will, because it's gone through the entire 12 signs. But it's coming back into the first house, the natural first house, while the North Node is there. And then you have Chiron there. Chiron can present itself as a bit of a ghoul, if you will. It's going to present itself as a bit of a ghoul. It's going to present itself as a bit of a, maybe like I said, it could be like a past trauma that kind of comes up around that time. I'm just kind of giving you just a general forecast, right? It's going to present itself as that. I'm just trying to prepare you guys. It's going to present itself as that. But then the closer that it gets to it, what we're really going to see is that it's actually like a mirror. It's like a mirage that you see from far away, and it looks like a big, scary monster. I'm getting this vision of walking down a road. It's like a desert road, right? And you see a mirage, and it's like this big, dark thing, right? It's a big, dark monster, if you will. And you get closer and closer and closer and closer to it. And as you get closer to it, you can definitely feel your emotions getting more and more riled up. You definitely feel things getting more heated and more heated and more heated. And then you finally get to it, and then it's actually a giant mirror, and it's just you. You're just looking at yourself. And then you hit the North Node. And that's sort of the moment when, it's there's going to be this moment. It's sort of like an initiation, if you will, of okay, for the next 18 months. For the next 18 months, it's going to be like an emotional signature that when the moon hits the North Node finally. It's going to be like an initiation for the next 18 months. And it's really going to make some determinations as far as obviously how we feel, our emotional vibration, whether or not we embrace our superpowers, whether or not we accept our superpowers that we have, accept, what has happened in the past. That doesn't mean that if something shitty happened to you in the past, that you just forget about it. I think this comes down to an acceptance of it and accepting moving on, but also using that knowledge, using the information that you have from those experiences, and using it to propel you forward, not to just sit there and let it fester, not to just sit there and let the wound just sit there and gape and you don't treat it, because that's not going to do anything. But this is going to be moments okay, so that happened, that sucked. That really fucking sucked. Well, this is not a moment to be fearful. This is not a moment to be afraid of past failures, to be afraid of moving forward because we fucked up in the past, or we failed in the past, or someone, or this person might screw us over, and that person might screw us over. There's definitely this element right now where you can definitely feel it. People either are craving true human-to-human interaction where there is spirit and there is soul to that interaction, or they are losing even more faith in humanity and want to separate even further, right? That's what's going on right now. Wanting to separate even further. You can feel that happening right now. That's kind of the split right now. It's whether or not we can accept each other for our flaws and our wounds and our weirdness and our quirks, and realize that this world isn't going to change unless we all do something. For too long, we have let a small portion of the population try and fix the problems of the world. And for too long, we have outsourced our power to these individuals to actually manifest a better world. And unfortunately, a lot of these individuals do not have our best interests at heart. They do not care about us. They do not care about you. They only care about themselves because they themselves are evolving too. They themselves are evolving too. They have knowledge of all the esoteric stuff and they use it against you. But all of this information, all this esoteric knowledge, all of this hidden knowledge, all of this occult knowledge, occult just means hidden, doesn't mean bad, it just means hidden. That's why a lot of people don't like astrology, because they think it's occult, they think it's bad. I'm like, no, it's just been hidden. It's hidden from you. It's hidden in plain sight. It's hidden in plain sight. It's hidden in plain sight, like, so much. Like, I see astrology like symbols like every day and just different things. Like, it's just, it's insane. It's crazy how it's hidden in plain sight, and people just don't even fucking realize it. So, but like I said, hidden doesn't mean bad. It does not mean bad. I think there's going to be sort of like this trigger where it's like, I don't know, man. The last time that the moon's going to be like, I don't know, the last time that I conjuncted the North Node, the South Node was in Scorpio. So I don't know, man. If I don't really want to go down those routes, I'm like, well, it's shifted. You know, it's South Node's now in Libra. So it's like, yeah. It's like, all right, are we going to be overly diplomatic right now from like a toxic standpoint and just shove things under the rug and defer responsibility? Or are we going to take accountability for our own lives and do something about it? We may not be able to control the financial systems. We may not be able to control, you know, how much money is given to Ukraine for this war. We may not be able to control a lot of these different things. We may not be able to control taxes. We may not be able to control a lot, but there's a lot that we can't control. There's a lot that we can do. And I feel like this full moon in Aquarius that we have, this moon is going to finish up, of course, in Pisces too, going into Aries and conjuncting Chiron and the North Node, and then it gets to Jupiter and Uranus, mind you. I think that this energy that we're going to experience over the next week or so is definitely going to, like I said, it's either going to A, really invigorate you to become your greatest self and to really move forward, or it's going to make you want to double down and lose faith in humanity. I can't tell you which way to pick or which way to go. All I can do is channel the astrology and give it to you. I know what I'm going to do because I am inspired to make a difference, to make a positive difference in this world. Because I look out and I see people and I hear people's stories and I look into their eyes and I'm like, you know what? The human spirit, what it's been able to create in this world is nothing short of a miracle. So why would we not want to continue that? And why would we not want to see what we are capable of? I think in many ways, humanity has kind of stagnated. And I think we can feel that. Some people are okay with the stagnation, but I'm not okay with the stagnation. So I don't know about you guys. But I'm not okay with the stagnation because I know that we are all capable of so much more. Let's get into the cards. All right, let's see what we got. I'm just going to go with these top 3 cards right here. Yep. We got the 4 of Cups here. We also have the Hermit card, as well as the Magician. The Magician's in reverse, though, so it's interesting. Yeah, so I think with the 4 of Cups here, like I said, normally the 4 of Cups, it shows like someone's leaning on a tree and like, you know, a hand coming out of a cloud, and the person's just kind of looking at it kind of apathetically, kind of lethargically. But this one, it shows these 2 individuals hiding behind like this, you know, broken pillar, if you will. The 3 cups are right there, and then the one's up there as well. And they're meditating, you know. They're sorting through their feelings, if you will, about what action to take next, you know. Now, we have the Hermit card here. This is speaking in many ways to a lot of this Virgo energy that we are having, right? So I really, honestly, I think that this right here, this is the moon conjuncting Saturn. This is the moon opposing Mercury and Mars. And this is the moon conjunct Neptune. That's what this is. When the moon opposes, you know, when the moon opposes Mercury and Mars, there's this Hermit energy that's going to come up, if you will. So, yeah, we're going to be given this information, this knowledge about what's going on the other side of the zodiac, what's happening in Virgo land, right? And then the moon will come into the Neptune conjunction. And you can see that the Magician is reverse. So this definitely kind of does give Neptune retrograde kind of vibes, if you will. You know what I mean? Because it's the behind the scenes. It's like the, you know, it's, you know, what's going on. It's the bloopers, if you will. You know, this is like the Magician. It's like I said, it's a super powerful energy. It's this magi-like energy. It's bringing the 4 elements together and making something beautiful. It's putting on this like final display, if you will. The Magician reverse is actually like learning the skill. It's like actually like, you know, it's being sort of like in the lab learning like a skill, and you fuck up a few times and then you finally get it. And then like the moon's going to come to that. It's like, oh, wow. So it's like, it actually requires a lot to kind of put on this whole display. And Neptune's going to be like, yeah, it does require a lot. Now, all the planets play a role, right? But Neptune's going to be like, yeah, it takes a lot. And like now I'm having to like do some like mad maintenance like on this whole theater. I'm having to do some mad maintenance on all this thing because things have been like, hey, like it's been like mad haywire for a while. You know, the last time that I was retrograde, Pluto hadn't gone into Aquarius and come back. Like, you know, I believe that's right. Yeah. So like a lot of things have changed. A lot of things have shifted. You know what I mean? So don't be afraid like of, you know, if you're looking for magic in your life, don't be afraid of like actually building the magic. You understand that magic is something that needs to be practiced as well. A lot of times you think that magic or miracles just sort of happen, but they have to be practiced as well. We have to, like I said, we have to go into the lab, if you will. We have to go on the practice field. We have to practice. We got to work at it. That's how you make the magic happen. You think Tom Brady won those 7 Super Bowl rings by just being legendary or whatever like that? No, he practiced. Just like any champion in any sport, or any writer of any like amazing novel or book, or any director or producer of any amazing movie, you know? We see the finished product and we're like, oh wow, that's magical, that's cool. You don't see all the hard work that goes into it. So don't be afraid of the hard work to make the magic happen in your life. That's really what it comes down to. So that's going to do it for your astrology forecast today. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. And if you'd like a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to jphoenix.com. And as always, y'all take care, stay blessed. I'll see y'all on the next video. Peace out.